Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa. England are through to the semi-finals of Euro 2024. I am buzzing about it because we're through to a semi-final now, and I feel like this is what we are now. I feel like we've come on here and we've berated the way we've played, but I think this is how we're doing it. I think we're literally just gonna sort of shithouse the way to the final and to winning the trophy. I think that's just the way I see it happening. But I think before we get into the actual game and the performance, I think for me, I want to talk about Konsa because Konsa was unbelievable. He was so good. His passing was pretty much faultless. His recoveries, his ground duels, his blocks, clearances. What a performance! And I put on social media. I think I put it on at half time that if that's Konsa, on this big stage, I can't wait for the Champions League really because I thought he was proper good. And before the game there was like that little bit of sort of from the pundits in the studio, oh, Mark Gray's missing, how are we going to do at the back? And I'm sitting there thinking, it's not even in doubt how he's going to play. He's just going to absolutely breeze through it. Then at half time, it's like, oh, we've got to touch on Konsa here because Konsa was like really good. And I'm thinking, that shouldn't even be a feature. Like, that is not a feature to be doing because you just putting like a discredit on his name basically because that's what he is, and he was absolutely fantastic. He wasn't at fault for the goal for me. He crossed through his legs, should have defended it better at the back post as well. So Konsa, class. Justin, must be the highlight of the game for you.
Massively, yeah. I mean, from the very start, as soon as Harry Maguire wasn't going to the Euro, and there was an obvious position there to be filled by somebody. For me, Ezri Konsa should have played there from game one. And I've took a little bit of stick on social media because every time I put my preferred England team out, I've always put Ezri Konsa in next to John Stones. And everybody just keeps saying, you can't drop Gay, you can't drop Gay, he's been brilliant. He's done well, he's done all right. He's not really put a foot wrong, We've been poor in most games, but he's been all right. But I'll stand by this till I'm blue in the face. Ezri Konsa, for me, is the best central defender in that squad. No question. And he's proved that today. Absolutely proved it. He come on the pitch, he won every ground duel, he won everything in the air. His positional play was excellent. And his use of the ball was very good. Everything I expected of Ezri Konsa. But, when he had to take a central defender off because he wanted to go for it after we got behind, why does he take Ezri Konsa off? You've got Kyle Walker as a right back. So you keep your best central defender on, but no, of course not. He's going to rag Konsa off, isn't he? So, yeah, pathetic. But brilliant for Konsa. Great for his confidence. Brilliant for the lad. I'm chuffed to bits for him. We probably won't get another minute in this tournament, but I'm
No,
sure he'll bring Gay
yeah,
straight back in. Just like I
yeah.
don't think Ollie Watkins is going to get another minute in this tournament because Ivan Toney's the new golden child. So, yeah. But fair play for the both of them.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit like what Mings used to do for England. Mings had how many clean sheets, and he never
Yeah.
got any credit, and he never was sort of seen as like this real starter named on. And Consa's numbers there: 98% passing accuracy, 4 out of 4 ground duels won. We've got 2 out of 3 long balls. We've got the 7 clearances, 2 block shots, total tackles 2 there. So it was a real top quality performance from Konsa. So we'll touch on the game now. Then
You have to.
I thought we were better than the other games that I've seen. I thought we looked like we had a bit more. We looked like we had a bit more about us, like structurally. There looked like there was a bit of a pattern there at times. I felt. I'm not saying it was fantastic, but you got to remember what we've seen from the games before. It was better than what we'd seen before. So in that sense, I thought it was better. But again, it was another draw, wasn't it? We've drawn 4 games in a row now. We aren't winning games, and yeah, we're in the semi-final. We'll probably get to the final. We could possibly win it, but we're still not sort of playing with that attacking intent. And I think you've got to be balanced. You've got to be fair. Like we always do, we say what we see. So I am buzzing we're in the semi-final, but there are some things that I think just aren't great. I mean, Harry Kane. I mean, let me just get on here now. How many times has he touched the ball? This is staggering. This is to look at. Harry Kane, total touches, 26. 26 touches for the focal point of your team. Now, what people will say is his game now is about coming deeper. So if he's coming deeper, his touches should be, in the 40s and 50s if he's linking up the play. I'll show you. I'll get his heat map up now for you. This is a striker who is coming deeper. We get told that that's what his game is. So, okay, there's no threat in the box. There's nothing in build-up. It's a bit like the Cristiano Ronaldo thing. Like, I was watching him all tournament thinking, why are you even playing? And then this is the same thing. Like, all you'll get is clutch. He's clutch. He could score in the 75th, 80-minute mark and win us a game. Yeah, he could, but it's all like hypothetical scenarios of what potentially he could do. So, as we get deeper in this tournament now, we need to be playing better. We can't just ride our luck. It's going to run out. So I thought we were better, but we need to be better. Basically, that's how I saw it. What did you think of the game?
I like that. I like the formation. I think the switch to it should help us going forward. I think he should stick to it. I think team selection again for me was off. I mean, I've been a huge critic of playing Trent Alexander-Arnold in the double pivot. Don't think he's suited to that at all. But I think perfect for the 3-5-2. I think he's great for the right wing back slot. I think Bukayo Saka is fantastic for that left wing back slot, and he plays Trippier left back and Saka right wing back. And I mean, you could argue that the goal came from Saka cutting inside on his left foot. So and you do see a lot of these inverted wingers playing on the opposite side. But I think when you're playing in a full back position as a wing back, I think it's probably more important that you're playing with your preferred foot on that side. So for me, Trent should have played right side, Saka left side. Mainu was great. Royce, both shielding the back four. But it's going forward, we're struggling. And Harry Kane is, for me, the biggest problem in this team. 100%, you've just highlighted that there. He doesn't look fit. Half the time, he doesn't look interested. He's not in good form at all. And he's only playing because he's Harry Kane. If his name was John Smith and he'd just come in this team because we didn't have a forward, he wouldn't have lasted 5 games in this tournament, putting the numbers out he's putting. It's just ridiculous. The amount of times he sits, he's so deep. And when you're basically playing just two in behind a forward, and you're playing up front on your own, it is critical that forward stretches the play. And if your forward's not playing off the last defender, then the rest of the team can't get up to you. And that's one of the reasons we just sit so bloody deep all the time. It's ridiculous. I mean, it was poor again, I'm not going to lie. That was a poor, 90 minutes was poor. Really poor. And it was only when they scored that we thought, oh, Christ, we're going to need to do something here. And we threw 3 subs on and had a bit of a go. And all of a sudden, my God, we scored a goal. We had a bit of a go. We looked a bit of a threat. Cole Palmer should be starting ahead of Phil Foden. Foden's done nothing in this tournament. Saka on the left, great. He's found a bit of form, brilliant. Keep him in, keep the 3 at the back. Put Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right, full back slot. Kane should not play again, but he will because he's Harry Kane. I mean, he might go and score a hat-trick now in the next game, who knows? But based on form, he shouldn't be anywhere near this team now, in my opinion. And we are somehow, miraculously, in a semi-final, but this sums the whole of Gareth Southgate's reign up for me for England. And I sound like, and I get hammered for this because we've reached a semi-final, a final, and now another semi-final, and people are shouting at me. We've reached 2 semi-finals and a final, but if we would just play slightly better football with a better structure and formation and a bit more freedom, the players we've got, we wouldn't be scraping through these games. We'd be getting, ultimately, knockout football, that's what everyone's going to be screaming at the screen now, saying all that matters is getting through. And yes, ultimately it does, but the minute we play against a decent side, generally we get knocked out. And Switzerland's a good side, to be fair.
I think you're right. You are right in what you're saying. I mean, anybody that understands football and understands sort of how a game can drift, how a game can start. It's like you could start the game first 20 minutes and be absolutely amazing, and you can be rubbish for the rest of it. But if you just focus on that first 20 minutes, the game tells a different story. And I think today, again, one of the most frustrating parts of that game for me was Gareth Southgate's game management of that game, because first half I thought we were the better team, and I said that in the second half Switzerland were going to come out, their manager would have a go at them at half time, and they'd come out a slightly different team. Now, if I get the momentum bar of the game up, this is what it shows. So first half England were better, second half they come out and Switzerland start to play. Now, the momentum of that game in that second half, you can see at the bottom, during that spell of the Switzerland pressure, is when they scored their goal. Now, as England were drifting further and further back, at one point I tweeted that if we was any deeper, we'd be in the away end with their fans. That's how deep we were. And Switzerland then scored. Now, my issue is when we say, oh, if we play a better team, then we won't win. What will happen is this will happen and we won't get back in the game because they've got too much quality. Punished. They're able to defend. They'll nullify our substitutions. Luckily, we make some changes and we get back in the game. Now, those changes for me don't sort of get us back on track, because he should have been proactive with them substitutions, not reactive. And this is my point. He could be as reactive as he wants, but if he's not proactive in a semi-final and a final and read this moment when we need to get back on top in a game, we are not going to win. And I think that is the fine line for me. He's still not learning, Justin, because what he's doing is he's sitting on his hands, right? And he's waiting and waiting and waiting. And when he's waiting, teams are scoring. And that's the problem for me.
We've had one shot on target in 90 minutes. We had to wait to the 95th minute the other night for a shot on target. We've had to wait for the 80th, 80 minute, for Saka to score tonight. We don't make a substitution until the 75th minute, and that was after they scored. And they put 2 subs on just after the 60th minute mark, and they could see that they had a little bit of a foothold. Their manager could see at that point in the game they had a bit of a foothold in the game, and they had a bit of momentum, and they had. You can see.
Well, you can see it's there.
Yeah. So their manager was exactly as he's looking at it, he's thinking, right, we've got a bit of. We're having a lot of play here. We're having a lot of possession. We're having a lot of we're getting territory. We're pushing them back to the edge of their box. So now we're going to throw a couple of substitutes, affect the game, and try and nick something here while we're on top. And it worked for him. But what we should have done was halfway through that momentum buy, after say 15, 20 minutes of the second half, Southgate and his coaching team should be looking at that going, right, we're losing the game here. They're getting a foothold in this game. They're pushing us back. Now, it shouldn't take a goal to be scored against you at that level to react to a game situation. It should be. We're getting pushed back here. If we don't react now, we're going to concede. And then that happens, and we somehow in this tournament are getting out of jail every single time. And you can't keep doing that. It's 5 games now. We've been poor. Honestly, I've watched football all my life, and I have no idea how we are in the semi-finals of the Euros. I've no idea. It's the
yeah,
Steven Gerrard School of Coaching, Moment of Magic FC. That's what it is.
yeah. It's right. To be fair, I can't disagree with that, what you're saying. Basically, it's the fact that we're in a semi-final, but you know what? I think what the thing is, like, we've done all these match reactions now after every England game, and not one of them have we really come on and been like,
not enjoyed the game.
Yeah, well, enjoyed it, but sort of like being positives for the whole performance. Now, I mean, like, you know, when you've got to look at it, like you know, I mean, we do a match reaction for every single Villa game, right? For every single Villa game, we do a match reaction, right? And even when we lose, and this isn't just blind faith, even when we lose, there's pretty much probably a positive in there. You know, there's a real standout positive. But I'll just look at that when I'm doing these now. You know, I'm not a different fan. I'm not like a different person because it's England. I'm still analysing the game exactly how I analyse a Villa game. You know, and really, I just can't find much.
I honestly, I've never been so conflicted watching it. My team's obviously at Villa and England. That's my national team. Team Villa. I've never been so conflicted watching a team that I want to win so much as I am now with England, because ultimately I want to win something with England. Now we could quite not easily, but now there's 4 teams left, and we've got the easy side of the draw. We could make the final, and we could go on and win it if we put a barnstormer in the final. But how would I feel? I'd feel happy, but at the moment I think I'd feel a little bit hollow, and I'm really battling with how I feel about that, because that shouldn't be how I feel when I'm 2 games away from achieving something I've wanted to see all my life. My country winning a major trophy, and I shouldn't feel like I do. I should be over the moon with it, but I can't feel like that, and I don't know why. It's because I don't know, we're just so poor. But we're getting through, and ultimately, people are going to be screaming at this now, going, "Who cares? We're through," and that's all that matters, I suppose. We're through.
Yeah.
It depends what you want, isn't it? You either want to see us play really well and win. I'd prefer that, but the second best is not play very well and win. So that's what we're getting now. So I say, if I was really happy if we played well and win, I'm happy that we've played poorly and won. It's better than losing, isn't it? It's better than sitting there going, we went out on penalties and we were rubbish.
Yeah, but I think it's that. I think it's that. There's a word I'm looking for, but I can't find it. It's sort of like what is it? It's sort of like faking it, if that makes sense. Like not faking it. That's not the word I'm looking for. But it's sort of like it's there's just something missing for me, and I don't know what it is. I really don't know what's missing for me, but I think it's that sense of that word's going to come in my head in a minute. I know it is when we finish, but it's just like I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but
I know what you mean. It feels hollow at the moment, and I don't know why it feels hollow. We should be absolutely buzzing coming on here, coming to a semi-final of a major tournament, and I just think I've just watched yet another 90 minutes of abject. I mean, Bellingham looks a shadow of the player he did for Real Madrid at the end of the season.
Do you know what's weird?
Top goal scorer in the Bundesliga. The 3 players that we had our hopes set on, Kane, Bellingham, Foden, have all been pretty much, barring 2 moments of magic from Bellingham, pretty poor.
Do you know what's weird? weird thing about it is, when every one of them players stepped up for them penalties, they looked world class. I never felt like any of them weren't going to score. I thought they were all going to score. They had that sense of just they were going to, yeah. And I'm like, where does that go when you're actually playing? There was arrogance.
Well,
there was arrogance from all of them.
We had that for 5-10 minutes after they scored, and we made them changes. Look at the way Saka suddenly came to life. He cuts inside his defender. There's no other thought to him than to try and smash the ball in the inside of his left boot into the bottom corner. Those moments, and we're just not seeing enough of him, but we're through.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we haven't done any watch-alongs the last two, but we're going to do the one on Wednesday. So we'll do the watch-along on Wednesday. Villa fans, we've got a new concept starting on Monday. So stay tuned for that. Cheers for everyone for watching. Up the England are in the semi-final. Don't know how, but up the Southgate ball. See you later.